Hello students, I will continue with the chapter hydrosphere. In the last video I've discussed about the climatic change, so I will continue with that portion only. So in the last the next point is that in the regions where the warm and the cold ocean currents meet, water vapor is generated over there by the warm currents and get condensed into dense fog, and the stormy condition is formed over there. Okay, and as a result of that, heavy rainfall occurs. Next point is that you all know the name of El Nino. So El Nino is also a very important warm occasional current which is found generally in the Pacific Ocean. It drags the surface water along the coast Peru and Ecuador, and affects the climate of this region. In the El Nino years, what happens? The equatorial counter currents intensifies or get intensified in the Pacific Ocean, which brings change in the weather, sometimes raising or lowering of the temperature also occurs because of this El Nino current. Okay, sometimes the ocean currents also acts as a conveyor belt, transporting warm water and rainfall from the equatorial region towards the poles, and the cold water from the poles get back towards the tropical region or the tropics. So thus in this way the currents regulates the global climate or by evenly distribution of the solar radiation. Okay, so I will go through this point once again. So the cold ocean in the regions where the cold and the in the regions where the cold and the warm ocean currents meet, the water vapor gets generated over there by the warm currents, and ultimately after some point of the time the condensation occurs, and due to the condensation the dense fog formed over there, and because of the formation of the dense fog, the stormy conditions get accompanied over there by strong winds and heavy rainfall. Okay, so you can understand by this point how this ocean currents can lead to generation or the change of the weather in some specific regions. Okay, next is the El Nino. And so El Nino is actually a surface oceanal surface current which a warm occasional Pacific surface current which flows along the coast of the Ecuador and the Peru region, and it affects the climate of the Ecuador and the Peru regions also. The El Nino is in this means there is a time gap between the occurrence of the El Nino. It is generally taken about 11 years time gap. So in the El Nino year, so the time when the El Nino or in the year when there is a formation of the El Nino current takes place, so that year is also known as the El Nino year. So in the El Nino year, the equatorial counter current actually get intensifies in the Pacific Ocean region, and the effect of this that El Nino brings changes in the weather. Sometimes it rises means it raises the temperature, sometimes it lowers the temperature of some particular region and gives amount of the rainfall also. Sometimes because of the El Nino effect, the amount of the rainfall increases. Sometimes because of this El Nino effect, the temperature becomes excessively high. So during that point of the time when the temperature is excessive, then what happens, the flood occurrence takes place. And during the time of the year when the temperature rises at a great extent, that things lead to the drought situation. So there are many regions in the Asia portion also which gets very much highly affected by this El Nino occurrence, and as a result of that, the agriculture of many places get hampered because of this El Nino effect. So these factors actually contribute to the change in the weather in the different places in the different form also. Okay, so next is that the ocean currents acts as a conveyor belt which helps in the transporting of the warm water and the rainfall from the equator towards the pole, and also the cold water from the polar region towards the tropics. So thus it helps in the thus actually the current helps to regulate the global climate by the even distribution of the solar radiation. So without the current, the regional temperature would have been more extreme to extremely hot at the equator and at the frigid zone, thus the making the land surface unsuitable for habitation. Okay, so this is the end of this video. I'll continue with the next of the portion in the next video. Thank you everyone.